What's up, guys? Today we're going to do what your height says about you. So let's get into it. The first category that I designated as very short is going to be 5'6" and under. So this group is going to struggle with women the most. You're pretty much going to be socially outcasted unless you're extremely charismatic, and you must compensate with status or money even if you have a good face. So for example, if you're 5'4", fully grown, and you have a very attractive face, you still need to have at least a decent amount of money or status to be attractive to women. So some examples of celebrities we have in this category is Danny DeVito. He actually has a genetic disorder which makes him 4'10". We have Jeff Nippard, the fitness influencer, who is 5'5". And we have Dylan Latham, the looksmaxxing creator, who is 5'6". He tries to claim 5'9", but his true height is actually 5'6". Here we can see him next to Androgenic, who is around 6'4", and we can see he's even over an entire head taller than Dylan. So the next category we have is going to be slightly short. So I designated this as 5'7" to 5'8". So this is not nearly as bad as the category of short, 5'6" and under. Your face can compensate for your lack of height. For example, if you are 5'7" and you have a very attractive face, women will look past your height and they will like you for your face. And if your face is not attractive, or you're not status or money maxed and you're 5'7" or 5'8", you will get rejected from women due to your height. The good thing about this is if you're in this range, let's say you're 5'8", you can fraud with lifts to reach normie height, which is the next category. So if you're 5'8" and you wear 2-inch lifts, you can get to 5'10", and you'll be in the middle of normie. So some examples of celebrities in this category is Ben Shapiro. He's 5'7". He also tries to claim 5'9", but we all know he's shorter. Tom Cruise, he's 5'8". He's honest about his height. We have IShowSpeed, who is 5'8". We have Kanye West, who is 5'8". And we also have Adolf Hitler, the famous dictator, 5'8.5". Next, we have the category of normie. So this is going to be 5'9" to 5'11". So if you're in this category in a crowd, you don't stick out at all. No one really thinks about your height because you're just average, and you may still get rejected by shallow women. But if your face is above average, you should be doing pretty decently in the dating market. So some examples of celebrities in this category is Ian Somerhalder. Many people think he's taller because of how attractive his face is, but in reality, he's only 5'9", which is actually at the lower end of the normie range. And then we have George W. Bush, the president, who was 5'11". So the next category we have is tall, which I designated as 6 foot to 6'5". The ideal probably falls in the higher end of this range, like 6'2", 6'3". And when you're this height, you usually don't get height mogged. When you go to a room of people, you might be the tallest there most of the time. Some women will date you just for your height. Some women love super tall guys. Even if you're 6'5" at the higher end of this range, some women are very into that. And your height can compensate for the lack of facial attractiveness. So Charlie Kirk is actually a perfect example of this. His face is actually very ugly. He's around a 3 out of 10, but he was 6'4", so that increased his appeal greatly to women. And also he was status maxed. He was very famous and rich. And when you're this height, you have presence everywhere you go. Men will start respecting you more. When you walk into a room, people notice that you're there, at least if you're in the higher end of this range. And this is the ideal height range for appeal to women. I'm actually in this range. I'm 6'2", luckily, because my face is not that good. And some examples of people in this category are Donald Trump, who is 6 foot tall. His peak height was actually 6'2", but he's shrunk a little bit as he got older. We also have Sean O'Prye, who is 6 foot flat. And we also have Hassan Piker, who is 6'2.5". Then we have Mr. Beast, who is 6'3". And Charlie Kirk claims 6'5". In reality, he's around 6'4". And then we have Face IQ, the looksmaxxing creator, who is genuinely 6'5". And the next category we have is excessively tall. So if you are 6'6" and over, you will stand out in every crowd that you go. You have a massive presence everywhere you go. Everyone notices your height. Everyone thinks you're a giant. You will also excel at sports like basketball. So if you're 6'6" and over and you don't play basketball, basically, what are you doing? You have an extreme advantage. In this category, if you're in this category, you can look very awkward and unproportionate if your frame is bad or if you're skinny. For example, if you're a guy who's 6'6" and your frame is very narrow, if your clavicles are not wide, and if you're very skinny, you will just look awkward. But The good news is that if you're in this category and you have a good frame and you filled it out by strength training, then you will look very good and you'll have a massive presence. Everyone will respect you. This range is still very appealing to women, just slightly less than the 6 foot to 6'5" tall range, just because some women might be intimidated by this height. Some examples of people we have in this category is LeBron James, who is 6'7.5", and Shaq, who is an impressive 7 foot. So let me know what category you guys fell in within this range and in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.